Well, it says I'm live. You bet I am. Well, hello. Good evening, good morning, good day, good afternoon, and maybe to some of you, good night. You have entered into the world of joy, but it's your joy. And tonight, it's Biz to Biz with Joy, and I am so excited. I'm over the moon because this is a new platform, a new program that I'm offering because I feel, I felt the need for it. I'm going to be presenting and bringing to you people who are in the cosmic healer realm, alternative modalities, and that includes everything. And we're going to start off talking about something that's vital, really, because everybody's talking about it. I don't know how many people understand it, and that's the soul. We're going to be talking about Akashic records, and I have a guest who's going to explain that to you. First of all, my name is Joy. I'm Joy Ruffen. I am a style and leadership coach, speaker, executive producer, TV host, and podcaster. Tonight, my guest, Karen, is, well, what can I say? You're going to meet her in a second. But she is a spiritual and intuitive Akashic master and guide. And we are kicking off this launch together. I could go on and on and on explaining a lot to you about what she does, but I want you to just stay tuned and listen to what we're going to be talking about tonight, because maybe for some of you, this is new. I'm going to bring you up now, Karen, and say, Sharon, I got your last name. Hello and welcome. It's so good to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Joy, thank you. This feeds my soul. I'm so excited to be with you. I'm so excited.
I'm excited. I'm too excited. I have to calm myself down a little bit because tonight, Sharon, the work that you do is phenomenal in so many ways. I know firsthand. And I am honored that you are here to share this platform with me, which is the first time out of the gate, because I want to meet with every cosmic healer who's willing and ready to come on and share their wisdom with those who need it. More than ever, the time is now for all of us, and especially women. This is to explore the secrets and the depths of you, which is what you offer us. So here's where I want to start. And I want you to take us there as succinctly as you can, because there's so much, and I know I don't want to overload. Tell us, what is Akashic Records? Explain to us.
Okay, I'll begin. So the is Akasha is the Sanskrit word for heaven above, or the ethers, the heavens, the light that's around. So historically speaking, the Akashic records were first written about historically from these records were first mentioned in the book of Exodus and referring to Moses and the Israelites. And this is not about religion. It has nothing to do with religion. It is about, we're speaking about the universal spirituality and the universal laws from the other dimension.
Let me hold it. Let me stop you there for a moment, because
Yes.
you gave a lot of information that's powerful. Everyone has their belief system, and they have their circle or their little whatever of what they believe. What are their belief systems? Whatever religion or faith that might be. And when you say that it's the heavens and it's a universal, that covers everything, in my humble opinion. Yet there are humongous question marks there. So how do you separate? And you said back when it started with Moses and so on and so forth, how do you explain it where those who maybe are deeply, deeply religious, who maybe can't seek or contain or entertain this concept, how do you speak to them, or do you?
I do, in the way that everything comes from the other dimension. Everything is connected, everything is energy. And we are all connected to that energy force, which is quantum physics. And that is a new form of mysticism. So all of the avatars, all Buddha, Jesus, all of them, all came from the same place, which is universal spirituality. That's where it came from. So it's not really different. It's just the beginning. It's just where that all came from, because Earth came later.
Now, that for some people is scary, very, very scary. And I don't cast aspersions anywhere. But yet, when you say the heavens and it all came before, for numerous reasons, and we're not going there because there's no anything here that's negative. That energy thing is what's powerful, in my opinion, humble as it may be. The energy that you can't be here, Sharon, for any length of time and not know that there's something much, much larger than we are, right?
Absolutely.
And yet, mhm, the connection. Yes.
Yes. So we know we did not make our bodies. We did not make our bodies, and we don't even breathe ourselves. So where does that come from? We know that we're not doing that. So who's doing that? And that's why when I'm talking about the other dimension, Earth is in the Milky Way galaxy. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in our universe and in all the other universes. So this is all comes from the same place. Energy is everything. Everything is connected. When we start understanding the energetic frequency, we can realize that things have to come from somewhere. And so in the unified field, in the other dimension, that's where everything comes from. And
Yes.
that is the substance of thought and intelligence.
I get it. I've received it. But let me ask you this, and this is a crazy question, but crazy questions are good. What, and maybe I'm not going to qualify, what is, as you know it, the other dimension?
The other dimension would be the energy place that is holding all of the our planet, our planet, all of the other things that are in each of the universes.
I like that. I like that. In other words, I keep everything very, very simple, not only because of my learning disabilities, but it's just easier. And it's easier for everybody else I'm discovering at this time in life, too. It's a holding station, the other dimension. You can expound on that every way that you want to,
Yeah.
but it's a holding station for all of this wonderfulness that we all receive. So now, based on that, how are you sharing the Akashic? And I'm still working with the pronunciation. I think I have it pretty much.
You do.
How do you explain the readings, the intuitive knowing? How did that come about? Share with us that, because I want people to understand and to know what's involved here. So when they partake, they'll have a much better understanding of what's involved for them. So how did the intuitive readings that you do, how did they come about, and how did you come to it?
Thank you for asking. And speaking of the other dimension and everything, it's like I actually had a spiritual awakening. When I was 27, I actually had a near-death experience. I broke my neck in a car accident. And at that time, that was my wake-up call, because my purpose is to come and share what I'm sharing with you today. That's what gives me life. That's why I'm here. And I'm so happy that you're here. So this is where I began getting very deeply connected to the spirit world and the advantages of working in it. And so when I found the Akashic work, I did everything. I mean, I went everywhere and I did everything and I listened to everything and I learned everything. It wasn't until I had my first Akashic reading, all the puzzle pieces came together. And that's when I knew it was my work and I was on the right track.
That's so powerful. Let me tell you why. You already know, but for the others who are coming and who are listening now, the spiritual realm after your very, very serious accident. You had your awakening, one of my favorite words. But you mentioned the word purpose. You knew after having this reading that it was your purpose. What took you to that reading? What led you there? And who, you don't have to give the name, but how did you know what was that secret sauce that they gave you that all of those puzzle pieces were put together and you knew that this was your purpose? Because what I know, Sharon, what I know for sure, so many of us, myself included, up until some time ago, have no sense of purpose. It was boom, 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 working, doing, and doing maybe what you like and what you love and maybe what you're good at, but it's not your calling, it's not your mission, it's not your purpose. So, what led you there? That's what we want to hear. After that accident, the spiritual awakening, what took you to the reading? How did you get there?
Well, like I said, I learned everything. I took psychic classes and I used a pendulum and everything, trying to find more of myself. And what happened was my mother passed and I was away. I was in Kauai, her favorite island, and my mother passed. And when I got home, I felt her very, very heavy in my space. And so I had met this woman that was going to do a reading for me before, but I was away. And so I actually had this reading with her. See, the Akashic reading work is a system, just like the universe. Everything is a system and it's orderly. It's not a mess. There's not an, oh, by the way. This is the way it is. Once we learn the universal laws and we start working with them, and it doesn't happen our way, it happens the way of the system. So I'm,
Yes, yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
here to tell people about the systems and how they work and how it can really empower you to live your best life.
Yes. Yes. Now, after the accident, I heard you say you had your awakening, one of my favorite words. I think we're always having our awakening. Those of us who are in the spiritual realm, right? I mean, I am. And it's never about me, but I have to say there's always a kinship there. You had your spiritual awakening and you started to study and delve into everything. What did you, because people want to know, so when they investigate, research, and get in there, they have a better understanding. What was it in that spiritual awakening? I'm sure you did things other than your Akashic readings. What led you to do that? What made you say this is a system, this is a type of understanding that I need? Was it because of the word soul? Was it because of the connection? Had something occurred in your dreams or in your outlook that made you decide on that? Can you share
Well,
that with
it
us?
was actually the reading that I had. So when my mother, I could feel my mother heavy in my space and I knew something was wrong. So I had the reading. Everything that the woman explained to me, I already knew. And that's how I knew it was my work. However, when you don't have language to talk about the other dimensions or to talk about your soul or to talk about, right away when I had that reading, it was like, this is my work. It's Melchizedek blessing work in the other dimension. And as soon as I was introduced to it, there was absolutely no question because everything she told me, I already knew, only I didn't have the language, the system to talk about it. So that's why I'm here sharing language so that our mental body, our brain can understand what we're talking about. That's why it's a system. There's a language. It's part of the universal laws.
I love that it's a system and a language and a part of the universal law. And I have to tell you what you know, and I know, and many others know as well. But there's a humongous question mark hanging over. And that is, you feel, you have an inkling, it's there embedded, but it hasn't awakened. You know that you're not here just to reside and exist, that there's something more. And sometimes there's that question mark and that I'm not sure, and you want to know. And that's why people go to seek out those who will give them confirmation of what they already know. I do that all the time. Listen, Sharon, I have been doing this since the beginning of time when I was about 12 or 13 years in the library running across my first book on astrology. I was mesmerized by it. And now what I'm bringing to people will be those who are into astrology and numerology and human design, tarot cards, psychics, Akashic intuitives like you, and all of that, because I've done them all. And I have learned and gained more than words, priceless. So I know this will benefit people. Tell us, when we talk about language, the language is important. Language is important everywhere. And I have to say, oh my goodness, I hope nobody, well, it doesn't matter. Language has gone by the by. I mean, everybody takes these shortcuts and we're doing all kinds of things with the language. But when you say language and you're talking about the Akashic intuitive readings, what are you talking about? The language that is written for you and those who are interested to gain, to learn, to bring out and share with others? Share with us a little bit more about language, because language is vital.
Right. So in the system, that I actually teach people how to read the Akashic records. So in the system, there are words that we're using, like we're using Akashic, that's like the big computer in the sky.
I love that.
Yeah, the big computer in the sky that has all the information in it, past, present, and future. Now, the past is memory. The present is in this gift, in this moment I'm spending here with you, Joy, the present moment that we've come to learn all of these different things. That's why we're here, to become the best version of ourselves.
Yes.
And then the future is the infinite possibilities. I'm not a crystal ball reader. I don't tell people if they're going to get married or how many kids they're going to have or anything like that. What I do future wise is I empower you to take the nuggets and the power that you feel from your reading and then live the life that you would absolutely love living by repatterning and reprogramming our subconscious mind, because our subconscious mind and our mental body is going to keep pulling us to the familiar, which is the stuff that doesn't bring happiness.
Oh, Sharon. I'm going to take a quick break, but let me leave with this and come back to you. And I want to speak a wee bit more about the past, the present, and the future. Because if ever we were in a time, this I know, I took this from whoever, I think it was Oprah, but it doesn't really matter. This I know for certain, for sure. There are no question marks. We are in a time of rebirth, rejuvenation, reinventing ourselves and everything around us, and bringing up the best of the best within ourselves. That I know for sure. I want to speak, when I get back to you in just a brief second, about the past, the present, and the future, because I think for numerous reasons, many have misconstrued what that's really all about. And I love what you said about this is not a crystal ball. That's powerful. So stay tuned. I'm going to be back with you in just a second. Yes. Okay. Now, this is beyond powerful what Sharon is sharing with us, because been there, done that. And as I said before, repeating again, I vet all the people that I'm bringing to you. And believe me, when you get your Akashic intuitive reading done, delivered to you, you will be absolutely blown away and amazed. And what she said is that you will hear and it'll become crystal clear to you because you already felt it. Maybe you weren't able to have it surface and awaken, but you will. Let me just say this to you. If you have not already, I have a Facebook group. This is my Facebook business page. And I'd love it if you would go there and connect with my group, Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. It's a phenomenal group because you're there and you belong there. And what we're doing now is bringing to you all kinds of things. I'm starting to do all kinds of things within the group, all new. I've been talking this for some time, but now I'm implementing. And your assignment, if you don't know, I love the movies. I love the movies. I do. But I separate that movie world from my real world. I want you to come and join because would be a welcome guest. And absolutely, you would love it. That I assure you. And then if you are open and you have some questions about anything, you can make an appointment on my calendar link here. I'm transferring that over pretty soon on my new website, which I'm going to tell you about before I leave here tonight. But I want you to come aboard and we can discuss any concerns that you might have. I work as a signature style specialist, which is very different from an image consultant. And this style and leadership combine, supporting you in the discovery of what's best for you. And I have a masterclass that's coming up on February the 3rd, and I'd love to see you there. But now I want to go back because tonight it's all about cosmic healers, alternative modalities, and I want you to be thinking about maybe I could use some more support, some help, some guidance, because you have the right messenger and the woman here who's going to help you and align you with a knowing that's absolutely powerful. And that said, let's talk, Sharon, a little bit about, I love your sharing with us crystal ball. People want the Holy Grail, but listen, it's all in you and it's awakening to it, right? So let's talk about the past, the present, and the future, how it is written in language when we talk the next time you come here about how the how will affect and benefit people. But share with us a little bit more about the language of past, present, and future for those who have a keen interest, and I know that there are many, in what we're talking about, Akashic intuitive readings.
Well, we do have the past, which is the memory or the history, and then we have the future, which isn't here yet. And so many people get so wrapped up in either what happened before or what might happen. There's no power in that. The power is in this gift of this moment, present time. That's why it's a present. And this is where all of our power is. And we can develop our conscious awareness around it when we start to realize the luminous and powerful light beings that we are. We were a soul first, a spirit first, and we came into the physical, into this human body that I call an earth suit for this time around. All of the things that we talk about in the Akashic record is actually who you are in the other dimension. That's what changed my life when I heard it, because I already knew it, but I didn't have words to talk about it. And I didn't actually realize how powerful I was. We all come in with the same stuff. We all come in with everything that we need to be successful and powerful in this lifetime. However, we forget.
Here's something that I have to dovetail back on, because here's my knowing, and you've heard me say, I have no issues with being proven wrong because that's how we learn. What you just said is powerful. And yet there's a big divide there because we all come in more or less with the same. And yet there's a big divide because people awake, don't they, Sharon, at different times?
Yes.
And it all depends on how much you want to rise, soar, and climb into the best of you. Because that past, present, and it's a now knowing what the future can hold, that you have that greatness, as Les Brown said, within you, that power, but discovering that is a whole different ballgame. So how do people come about the awakening without knowing that they're light beings and they're spiritual in the soul? What are some of the keys that can be offered to those who are still awakening?
Well, the awakening, of course, is very personal.
Yes.
And souls are all different ages.
Yes.
And so we know that we all have our own unique soul beingness, and that we go through these things at different times in life. Some are newer souls, some are older souls. There's all the ones in between. So there's no right or wrong. However, sometimes children, well, usually with children, the veil is very thin with children. And we come in knowing a lot of stuff at that time. Although if we're not with parents who can support that, then we forget. And then we spend, the rest of our time kind of remembering and getting in touch with. I think the biggest thing is for people to trust their intuition. We all have it. It's that still small voice that might be whispering in our ear, but quiet, if we don't get quiet with breathing and being peaceful and getting into our physical body,
Yes.
I broke my neck because I wasn't in my physical body. So there's all of these laws that require us to do things. And when we do them and we're open to them, then things start working smoothly. So if people are suffering, there's a blockage somewhere. And that's what's so beautiful about the Akashic work, because we just reinstate the soul. I don't do it, but all of my non-physical beings help me when I
Yes.
ask for those things.
Right,
And
right.
we restore our soul to the way it was when we sparked. And that's where we want to be, to have clarity and power and really understanding what all of this means. And it's not outside of ourselves. It's not looking out here. It's going within and getting quiet and peaceful. That's where that comes from.
I love that. And you know what? The whole everything. I hope everyone who's tuning in now and those who will come for the replay, they get what you said. And what you said that really resonated with me, two things. There's no right or wrong. And you said that sometimes kids come with this thin veil and they have that because, back in the day, way before all of this became, it seems more popular now. A lot of people thought that it's only when you began to age, you became more mature and elder that you gain wisdom. Let me tell you, Sharon, speak to this. There are kids who pop out of the womb, and as soon as they're able to, they're already wise. It might be a small minority, but they're there. So it's not only the older elders who are wise. People come at different times and they're at different levels, right? And this is what you spoke to much more eloquently, but this is so true. And I like it when you said we spark. However we spark into whatever we're here to be. So powerful, so powerful. What is the number one thing that we want to leave here tonight for people to know? You've given us a lot of food for thought. My favorite expression, one of my many, is food for thought. I want people to ingest, digest, and take all of this in and let it seep into the marrow of their bones, because I know for a fact that what you're doing is so needed. So needed. People want to know more about, they want to know all three, the past, the future, and the present. But yet, knowing it in the order that it is designed or was designed for them is important. So, what do you want to share with us about how we can gather and get that? Let me put up your website and your phone number and the offerings and what you're offering. If they come to you, they can get to your website, which I'm going to put up here. And then they can, in turn, if they put in code JOY, they're going to get whatever discount you're going to give them, because this is something very, very powerful. So let's talk about no right or wrong when it comes to the Akashic intuitive readings. I think that's fantastic. Speak to that.
Yes. What I can tell you is that probably the biggest takeaway from our time together today is
Yes.
to remember that it's an inside job. We want to look outside for whatever it is that's going on in the physical. Our physical beingness is wonderful. And how do we balance our physical beingness and be happy and joyous in this life? We do that by our spiritual connection. And that is what I help people to do and lean into, whatever that looks like for you, because everybody is different and everybody is unique. But we all have that ways to connect. And what I can tell you is the way that I do it is just by breathing in the sacred breath and exhaling really slowly, like you're blowing through a straw. This slows down our body's nervous system.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is we want to get out of fight or flight. We want to get out of that frantic state so that we can go within, connect to the deepest part of ourselves, which is our soul, and remember the gifts, the luminous light being that we are.
Ah, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think for a kickoff and a launch and starting off, you shared so many really pivotal, powerful points with us about what it is and how it serves others. And next time you come, we're going to talk about how it benefits and the values it gives you and how you can use it. And you can use me as an example to be able to take the seeds of what are given to you at birth and then how you can apply them in this life as a light being. I love it. Thank you, Sharon. Blessings to
Thank you,
you.
Joy. I just warms my heart. So nice to be with you
Mine too.
and all of your wonderful guests. And I'm
Oh,
here
thank
to
you. Thank
answer
you.
any questions if you want to contact me.
Yes. I put up your name and I have the code JOY and they will get in touch with you, whoever. And then you're coming back. And by the third session, they'll have a crystal clear understanding of what it's all about. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to put you in the green room, but I'll be back with you in just a second. Thank you. To a lot of information she shared with us, and I wanted her to give us and everyone who comes here an understanding of what it is that they do and why it's so popular and how it became so popular. And again, repetitive. I vetted everyone, and I know that what they're doing is beyond powerful. And I don't care how much you've been here, there, and yonder, it's something that you will not regret doing. And it's worth every investment that you make in yourself. And that's what it's all about, making an investment in you so that you can have the present and the future aligned because you'll know with certainty what you have to do. That awakening just blossoms. It's already sitting there waiting. So, my friends, time flies here. I wanted to also share with you something that is really, really very good, but the time flies and I don't want to go too much over. So I'm going to leave it. If you are interested at all in something that will benefit you, go here and look at mysoulsoftware.com and you'll see what that's all about. You cannot lose with this. It's absolutely fantastic. And in the meantime, wherever you're at and whatever you're about, be well and take care of you first so that you can look after others. We're all here to share our gifts. And that's what Sharon is doing. And that's what I'm doing with you. And there's so much more to gain and to give and to share with you. So be well and stay safe. And we'll be back with you again, like very, very soon. And until we do, all the best and much love. See you soon. Like, how about tomorrow night? I think it's tomorrow night anyway. Take care. Be well. Cheers.